Welcome to Montreal, where the teams are ready for today's practice session at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Personally, I think we're in for a real treat today. In 1999, the outside track wall, situated on the last corner of the lap, ended the race of three Formula One world champions, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve. Since then, the wall has come to be known to fans around the world as the infamous Wall of Champions.
Turns 13 and 14 are definitely the most demanding corners on the track. A quick chicane section entering at over 180 miles per hour, drivers use plenty of curb and get very close to the wall. But hitting those curbs at the wrong angle can easily put the car offline. You'll see a lot of drivers bail out of committing into turn 13 using the escape road to avoid contact with the wall.
Right, a little bit of an electrical problem at the moment. We're working on it now, so don't worry. We're going to get you out there as soon as possible.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to career mode. Here today for round number 7 at the Canadian Grand Prix. Coming into this, expectations were, I'm not going to say really high, but I felt like we could keep the momentum going. If you haven't seen last episode from the Monaco Grand Prix, I recommend you go check that out. We were able to somehow come away with a podium with what was a bit of a interesting last couple of corners with Kimi Raikkonen, but we were able to come away with P3 from 13th on the grid nonetheless, so definitely showing that this Racing Point does have some potential, and we can definitely drag some results out of it, which realistically we probably shouldn't be getting, but that's just what hard work and time and dedication will do for you, I suppose. But right at practice, we got through all of the practice programs. I'm not going to say fairly easily. We had a couple of moments and a couple of crashes, as you've seen already, so a couple of things didn't really go all too well. There's another one to add to the list, but you know, a couple of flashbacks later and we're all good. Race strategy, purple score, so no dramas there. We ended up topping FP1 as well, from Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez, our teammate, in P5. So 2 racing points in the top 5, so this might not be such a bad racetrack for this car. Obviously it is a fair bit of a power track as well with that very long back straight. So, I don't know, this could be actually a decent track for us, but we'll see what we can do, obviously. Obviously, the aim, like normal, is to get into Q3 and come away with a top 10. But we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, Q3 awaits once again, but it's going to be interesting. We don't have to worry about a wet qualifying and wet race, thankfully, so that's always good. But without further ado, let's go to qualifying.
Welcome again then, and we hope you're ready for another fantastic session as the teams prepare to unleash their cars for qualifying at the Canadian Grand Prix. The competition is certainly heating up as we head into today's qualifying. Some impressive times showing up during the previous practice sessions. Anthony Davidson, do you think we can expect a similar level of skill to be showcased during today's qualifier?
Well, I certainly hope so. The competition here is extremely tight and I think we might see some very close times today. Remember, practice isn't just about fastest lap times though, it's about optimization, it's about ratifying your decisions. No one's going to be sweating small mistakes here and there, but in qualifying that all changes. You need to nail that perfect lap or face the consequences, and believe me, that's a lot of pressure.
Alright, so here we are for qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix, coming across the line for our first run in qualifying 1. Puts us in P10 and that was enough to get us through. We only did the one run. That was good enough to put us in P12, so we get through to the second part of qualifying. Our teammate Perez all the way up in P3, so definitely showing what this car is capable of. Going out now at the end of Q2, I just want to do one run again to save an extra set of tyres if I could. And we go provisionally P5, splitting Leclerc and Verstappen, and that was enough to get us through. Perez once again ahead of us in P5. So, seems all weekend apart from Friday practice 1, we've been on the back foot compared to our teammate. He outdoes us again. He seems to have the measure of us in qualifying so far, but getting on now to the final part of qualifying, I decided to go out basically right at the end of the session again, just so I could, get the best out of the track conditions and just, I don't know, go for broke. I think I've heard some people say that, but really just throw this car around this racetrack and hopefully we can come away with something decent. But up to the line, what is it going to be?
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
So it's P8 for the Canadian Grand Prix. Although the engineer did not really sound impressed, I'm pretty happy with that. Perez again just has the measure of us in P7, but P7 and P8, I don't think that's too bad. I think that is roughly where we stand in the pecking order. We are best of the rest on paper, and it seems that that's exactly where we are on track as well. So it's good in one way, but I don't know, I felt like there might have been more in that lap. We definitely could have jumped Sergio. I think there was one or two tiny little mistakes, so we could have got maybe P7. I don't think we could have gotten any better, but all in all, 4th row lockout for Racing Point, so I think we're in a good position for the race.
Bad luck in qualifying. That's not exactly ideal. But there's no points for Saturday. Keep a cool head and make up for it in the race.
Everyone sounds like we're starting at the back. Look, we qualified P8, guys. Come on, 4th row. It's not the end of the world. We can still come away with something good. But, I don't know, we might try and renegotiate this contract and lower some terms or something for the future. But looking at research and development right now, we've got a couple of upgrades on the way, so hopefully they'll go on the car. But without further ado, let's go to the Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. They're still relatively new to a sport which does have a high learning curve and of course little tolerance for mistakes.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience. But some of these guys in Formula One have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Gasly, Perez, Lee, Raikkonen, and Devon Butler, Weber, Magnussen, Roman Grosjean and Kvyat, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Lando Norris and Alexander Albon. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
You should have some space going into the first corner, so try to keep it tidy.
Alright, welcome guys to the grid of the Canadian Grand Prix. Here today for round number 7 of my F1 2019 career mode. Strategy looks like it's going to be a 2-stop going from softs to mediums and then another set of mediums to finish off, things off. So hopefully we can make the best of that. I don't know if the leaders are going to maybe see if an audacious 1-stop can work. From the softs to hards, I definitely don't think that's possible. Mediums to hards maybe for guys outside the top 10, so we could get jumped by a couple of guys, but we should be able to get them back towards the end of the race hopefully. But we won't worry about them too much. Obviously, first things first, we want to get a good clean start and I don't know, maybe see if we can challenge our teammate Sergio Perez down into turn 1. Hopefully we can overtake him and maybe assert our dominance, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it. So we can be known as the #1 driver in this team, but reforming back on the grid now, awaiting the last couple of AI to reform. The Williams on the back row, again, they'll probably be there for a long time into the future. But here we go, awaiting for 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix, round number 7 of career mode, and away we go. Held the lights for a little bit there, but all good. Away we go. Pretty average start, it must be said. Perez pulls away. Raikkonen up air inside. We can try go around the outside of our teammate now. Turns to the inside. He leaves us just enough room. Side by side for the Racing Point drivers now. Who's going to get the advantage now? Coming into the right hand, we've got the inside line. We squeeze Perez a little bit. Actually, we squeeze him a lot there. I wanted to leave him a little bit of room, but I kind of misjudged that. But we get the move done either way, and it's up into P7. Warning for exceeding track limits already, so that's really put us on the back foot already. We're going to have to be a real good boy for the rest of this race. Then into the hairpin. Perez fights back on us now. Dives to our inside, coming into the hairpin. But we managed to get superior traction around the outside, and we maintain P7 for now. Next up is Pierre Gasly, cutting on now to the start of lap number 2. We're going to send it up the inside of the Red Bull driver. Do we get this move done? He's still there. Just leave him enough space. Still there. But the arrow indicator goes white and he slots in behind us. That's up into P6. Next up is Max Verstappen, cutting on to lap 5. Verstappen and all of the leaders basically have gotten away. That's our second warning. So we've got to go 27 laps now basically without exceeding any more track limits, which is probably going to be a bit tough. But into the pits now at the end of lap 8, coming in for our first set of medium compound tyres. Pace in the first stint felt pretty good actually, not going to lie. We were able to keep Gasly and Perez behind fairly well. They did battle a little bit as well, so that undoubtedly helped us out. But rejoining, back on the track now. I think there's the 2 Williams right there. I want to get out ahead of these 2. And we just do, yes. There they are behind us. So we've managed to just get out ahead of the 2 Williams. I didn't want to repeat of what happened in Monaco. I think it was when we come out right in between them and we had to follow George Russell for a little while. I didn't want to be in that spot again. But on to lap 10. A lot of the AI have now pitted. That's boosted us back up into the top 10. Perez is in the pits as well. It looks like he should emerge in P11 right behind us. And I think he does. Getting on now to the back straight of lap 10. We're following Daniel Ricciardo now in the Renault in P9. So old mate Danny Rick having a solid run of things at the moment. But we're going to look to get the move done. We go to the outside. Are we going to get this done around the outside of the hairpin? He's still there, but we get superior traction, and that's what new tyres will do for you. Just drive clean around the outside of the Renault, and that's up into P8. Next up is Antonio Giovinazzi and Danny Kvyat. We get real good drive compared to Giovinazzi, and we're going to try go up the inside. Same thing we did to Perez. And we get the move done again. So these new medium tyres just really working wonders at the moment. Now down into the hairpin. Are we going to know? I was thinking about a move on Kvyat, but I decided against it. But again, the drive traction we get compared to the AI, we're just able to pull up alongside and the engine just takes care of the rest. I think we got the best engine in the field at the moment. I don't know how many times I can say that over the course of like numerous videos. Bit of a tank slapper there as well. Luckily we didn't cut the corner, otherwise we would have got a 3-second time penalty. Just clipped the grass I think with our left rear, unsettled the car a little bit, so pushing for 11/10 at the moment. Cutting onto lap 19, here comes the Mexican Sergio Perez up our inside to take P6 away. Gasly behind us in P8, so we've actually dropped the Frenchman a little bit. So Gasly, I suppose, probably running where he would if he was still in Red Bull, but we won't worry about that, will we? No. But DRS open, overtake mode on the ARS, ridge fuel mixture. We should get this move done to the outside. He's still there on our inside. We broke really late and that was so close. We kind of chopped his nose off there. I didn't want to leave him the space to come back up the inside. You can see he thought about it and he backs out of it. Double lock up on the front tyres as he knew we were committed to the corner. So thankfully no contact between the teammates. On the lap 21 now, we're in the pits for our second and final stop for another set of medium tyres. I think we're the first person of the top 6 or 7 to come in for our second stop. So we're going to get a little bit of an undercut on our teammate. So hopefully we can make this work and come away with maybe a P5, P6 maybe. I can't remember where we were, but we emerged 13 laps to go in this race. Emerge in P10 right behind our old F2 teammate Lucas Weber. Perez is in the pits now, so hopefully we can jump in, but DRS overtake Ridgefield Mixture. We blast past the Renault, but that's no competition really, Renault versus Mercedes power. But coming along the front straight now, and we are going to jump Perez, I believe. Where is he? He's coming out of the pits right now. See him on the mini-map. And we've actually got a fairly decent margin as well, which is a bit surprising. So we're looking good actually here at the moment. Cutting on to lap 28 now. We've been able to pull away slightly. I think that was Alex Albon is out of the session. And yes, a problem for the Toro Rosso driver. I don't see any smoke, so maybe a gearbox failure or something. But cutting on to lap 30, the Ferraris have been battling away really hard. We've caught them up. We've got a real good run. We've passed the clear. Now we're going to try to go round the outside of Sebastian Vettel into turn 1. Turns to the inside, and we've overshot a little bit. He's going to get the over and under, but we get good drive traction, and now we're up into P4. So now we're ahead of 2 Ferraris. What the hell has happened here these last couple of laps? This isn't supposed to happen. On to lap 34 now. Leclerc tries to go around our outside. That was all a bit awkward. I don't think either of us knew whether the other one was going to lift or not. That was all a bit silly. But cutting on to the final lap now, down into the hairpin. And we decided to give it full beans on this final lap. Lewis Hamilton wins the Canadian Grand Prix. It's not shrouded in controversy this time, unlike in the real Canadian Grand Prix. But he comes across the line for another win in this career mode, so he will be very happy about that. But cutting back onto our POV now, and we've been able to just hold Leclerc off on this final lap. And I don't know how we keep doing this, but it's going to be another top 5 result. P4, get in.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So there we go, guys. Round number 7 of career mode here today for the Canadian Grand Prix. Mercedes 1-2, Lewis Hamilton, followed home by Valtteri Bottas. Max Verstappen comes home in P3 for Red Bull, so they will be undoubtedly pretty happy with a podium finish here today. The teammate Pierre Gasly, unfortunately down in P8, so not a real good race for the Frenchman. Our teammate comes home in P7. Great battle with the Ferraris right at the end. Unfortunately, Perez wasn't quite able to overtake one or both of them, but P4 and P7, another really decent haul of points for both of us, for the drivers and for the constructors. So all in all, I think this has been a really, really good weekend.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Well, we finished higher than what we started, so I think that's a good day's work.
Things look close between you and your rival for a bit, but you came out on top, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Felt good to get one up. He's still got the measure of us in qualifying, so we need to work on that.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Alright, thank you very much, Claire, and thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys have enjoyed round number 7, episode number 8, I think this is, of career mode. Sorry the numbers don't line up, but we'll fix that in a future episode. We might do a double upload like we did in my original career mode in the Renault. Whether that'll be France and Austria again or something different, I don't know, but 637 resource points, we're nearly back at 1,000, so this has been a pretty good race weekend. Really happy, so can't complain.
Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, Emma. You certainly didn't sound that enthused at the end of qualifying, but one solid result, and it seems like everybody's all cheerful again, so I don't know. It seems weird sometimes how this works, but anyway, we've got 2 aero upgrades. Hopefully going to go on the kart next episode, so hopefully both of them will go on without a hitch. Looking to maybe purchase another upgrade as well, just umming and ahhing what to do. Weight reduction or engine. I think by memory we went for... geez, I can't actually remember. What are we going to go for? I think we might go for weight reduction. But yeah, the chassis, as you can see, is nearly the worst in the field. And we guessed right, that's exactly what we're going for. So a weight reduction upgrade and 2 minor downforce upgrades. Hopefully they will both go on the car in time for the next episode. That'll be a big boost in performance, hopefully. But thank you guys for tuning in as always. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe. Stay tuned for plenty more. Should have career mode again out in maybe a day or two's time. But until the next video, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.